Everything you love, everything you fear, will one day dissolve, not vanish, but transform. For the ancients said the soul is water on fire, and what you call life is just the current carrying you back to your source. This was the river of Heraclitus, a river that never ends because it is made of becoming itself. Heraclitus looked at the world and saw a single principle beneath all things: change. He called it the ever-living fire, a flame that burns by turning itself into its opposite. When the fire descends, it becomes water. When water descends further, it becomes earth. And from that earth, the fire rises again, invisible, eternal. Nothing dies, it only changes element. The soul, too, follows this law. When it cools, it becomes matter. When it burns, it becomes thought. When it blazes clear, it becomes divine. This is the first current of the river of souls, the descent of fire into form and its return through remembrance. The Greeks saw every stream, every vapor, every mist, as the breath of the cosmos exhaling. They said that when water evaporates, the soul rises. When it condenses, the soul descends. The word atmos meant both vapor and spirit, and from atmos came the root of atmosphere, the sacred membrane between heaven and earth. To breathe, then, was not a mechanical act. It was participation in the rhythm of the universe. Every inhale drew the divine into flesh. Every exhale gave it back to the stars. The river of souls flows through this invisible breath. It runs not across land, but across dimensions, between the seen and the unseen, between the spark that thinks and the body that remembers. Heraclitus said, "You cannot step into the same river twice." The fools thought he meant change. The wise understood he meant reflection, because the river never forgets what it carries. Every ripple holds the memory of 1,000 footsteps. Every droplet has been sky, blood, and tear before. The stream is the first mirror of existence. Stand over it, and you see your image moving. A face that never stands still. That is the truth of the soul. It exists only while flowing. Stop the current, and you kill the image. Let it run, and it becomes infinite. The ancients bathed not to cleanse the body, but to realign with motion, to remind the soul that purification is not separation, it is circulation. Every myth hid the same descent. Oceanus circling the world, Styx winding through Hades, Lethe erasing memory, and beneath them all, the river that led to rebirth. To drink from Lethe was to forget who you were, but to remember one had to drink again, to fall into the current of recollection, to reclaim what was lost in the dark. This is why the initiates of Eleusis swore silence. They did not speak of death as ending, but as immersion, the soul sinking to the source, before rising renewed. Water was the teacher of resurrection. To drown was to wake. Heraclitus called the cosmos a living cycle of exchange. Fire feeds air, air condenses to water, water grounds into earth, and earth releases fire again. The soul travels this spiral endlessly, each turn a new body, a new form, a new awareness. The fool calls it punishment. The sage calls it practice. Because the purpose of motion is not escape. It is refinement. Each passage through the elements burns away what cannot last and polishes what must endure. When the soul finally flows without resistance, it becomes identical with the river itself. Listen to the sea, and you will hear a rhythm older than language. Ebb and flow, loss and return. Every heartbeat imitates it. Every sunrise repeats it. The tides are the soul of the world, inhaling and exhaling. Even the gods obey them. Poseidon rules not because he commands the waves, but because he understands their music. Heraclitus wrote that the sea is the purest and the foulest water. For to gods it is drinkable, to men undrinkable, meaning purity and corruption are the same stream, seen from different shores. The wise do not resist the tide. They learn its rhythm, until their own heartbeat becomes identical with the pulse of creation. When the river has carried the soul through all its forms, it empties into the sea of light. The water becomes vapor, the vapor becomes flame, and the flame remembers itself. This is the ever-living fire, the beginning and the end of every pilgrimage. It burns not to destroy, but to release. To the untrained eye, it is death. To the awakened, it is completion. The soul that has learned to flow no longer fears the fire. It recognizes it as home. The river of souls is not somewhere out there. It runs beneath your ribs, through your breath, through every moment you let go and begin again. Every heartbeat is the splash of a soul remembering its origin. Every dream, a ripple of that current echoing through time. The ancients did not seek eternity, they swam in it. So when you lose yourself, do not cling to the bank. Become the water, because the gods are not waiting at the end of the river. They are the river, and so are you.